How does Habermas critique Gadamer? Hey, it's Dr. B with 10 on Religion. So, Habermas studied under these bros at the Frankfurt School mentioned yesterday, and then used critical theory to instigate a little debate with his German fellow scholar, Gadamer. Basically, Habermas lofted 3 points of critique against Gadamer's model of hermeneutics. First, the deferral to tradition. Gadamer viewed tradition optimistically, even going so far as to redefine the term prejudice as pre-understanding in a positive manner. For Gadamer, a horizon is the background upon which one draws to understand the past in any form. Habermas had major concerns with describing the hermeneutical process in this way because tradition might be a possible carrier of ideology. How do we know that we're not being duped by the dominant class? How do we know that the intentions of those who created and continue to maintain the tradition are not oppressive to us? Good questions. Second, historically effected consciousness. Remember that Gadamer's concept of historically effected consciousness meant that for every piece of historical data, there also exists everything that everyone has ever said or written about those historical things. This is compounded into an ever ongoing process, such that our consciousness is effected by that history of interpretation, or more precisely, molded and shaped. This significantly affects the way we possibly could understand anything without even realizing it. Gadamer seems correct in his explanation of his historically affected consciousness concept. So why did Habermas take issue with it? The reason was that the content of historically affected consciousness, all of the interpretations that constantly get added to our understanding of any given person, event, or text in history, are not just naturally there. They exist in our understanding through a process of socialization and mass education. And guess what? Socialization and mass education are the two most common delivery mechanisms for ideology. This is how generations can be duped into buying Coca-Cola without realizing that basically all medical professionals constantly state that there aren't many chemical substances in that product which are actually helpful to the human body. Substitute Coca-Cola for any number of bad ideologies. White supremacy, gender superiority, religious intolerance, yeah. Third, interpretation as dialogue. In dialogue, we are both the subject and the object simultaneously. According to Gadamer, we participate in bringing the present significance of historical data into life through the fusion of horizons. But for Habermas, where is the tool by which to critique this? How are we to resist potentially oppressive prejudices implanted within the tradition or traditions of our dialogue partner, be it an interpretation of a person, event, or text? If one says that there is no ideology present, Habermas would point out that the denial of ideology is often a part of how ideology is used. As the old saying goes, the best trick the devil ever pulled off was convincing people that he didn't exist. Like when one makes one's own ideology appear to be necessary or natural. Decades ago, when I was growing up, the Chevrolet automobile company had a huge market share in the United States, and they ran television commercials stating that they were the heartbeat of America. Like, everyone needs a heartbeat, right? It's just natural to be American and buy a Chevy. But to be fair to Gadamer, he replied that the authority of tradition is not absolute. It can and should be questioned in certain times, but he wasn't really clear on when and how to do that, and this was part of Habermas's concern. And if you want to learn further, check out this video from way back in 2022 and more on my channel, and subscribe to 10 on Religion.